Good evening and welcome to the August 26th Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. At this time, I ask all people in attendance to silence your mobile devices. I would like to introduce the ZBA members in the Planning Department. And member from the Planning Department to my right is Jeff Sauer. To my immediate right is Ken Scholes. He's our clerk for this evening. To my left is Ken Jarvinian, and to my far left is John Bowner. At this time, board members, we have minutes from the July 22nd meeting. Any comments?
Madam Chair, just want to confirm that we got a correction to those minutes. I think we had inadvertently identified Ken Scholes as present. So through you to our planning director.
So yeah, the revised minutes showed, there was a whole bunch of references to Ken Scholes and then the one mistake to Ken Jarvinen, or sorry, the other way around.
Yeah, the other way.
Yeah, we fixed all that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from July 22nd.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so with that, I would like just to give a brief explanation, I guess, of how we present our case. The clerk, again, will read the case. You will have come up to the podium, give your presentation. Then we'll have questions from the ZBA members. We will go out to the audience for questions, and then we'll return to the board for deliberations. So with that, I ask the clerk to read the first case.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our first case is a continued case. 10 Agawam Ave, zoned R3. Request for a variance under Table 2 of the Danvers Zoning Bylaw to build an addition that will be located 11.5 feet from the side property line, where 20 feet is required. The lot is non-compliant due to size, where 30,000 square feet is required and 18,424 is supplied. Request is made by Jessica and Paul Capone, docket 24-5075.
If the applicants are here, could they come to the podium, please?
Madam Chair, if you could just remind them to identify themselves.
Excuse me?
You just remind them to identify themselves.
Oh, yes. Could you please identify yourself?
We're Jessica and Paul Capone. I just wanted to correct the figure that he read. The 11.5 was from the past meeting. It's actually 14.5 now.
Thank you for the correction.
Yep.
You could continue.
Okay. So we're here to follow up on our request for a variance. We shifted our plan. We took in the width of the proposed addition by 3 feet, and also spoke to our neighbors and had a plot plan drawn up again to reflect the distances from the back corner, from the fence line, and from the new front of the building.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to Jeff.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I have no questions.
Ken?
Thank you. I don't think I have any questions.
Ken?
So do you have another letter from the abutter?
We spoke to the abutter in person. I believe they're here tonight and either will speak or,
Okay.
yeah, I
thanks.
think
I
you'll
had
hear
no
from them.
Questions?
But we have come to an agreement with the direct abutting neighbor.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
Is that it, Ken?
Yep, that's it.
John?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I think the other change you made besides reducing the width of this proposed addition is you also removed the garage door from the right-hand side?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yep, in the drawings from the architect.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the driveway will still exist on the right-hand side, but there'll be no garage door.
Correct.
And can you tell me what the reduction in square footage of the addition was?
72. Yep, we reduced it by 72 square feet.
72 square feet. And if I remember correctly, before it was 820. Does that
Yes,
sound
it was
about right?
820, yep.
So you're down around 750 now?
748, yep.
Yeah. All right, that's good with the numbers. No further questions, Madam Chair.
I just have a couple of questions and one comment. I really like the new design.
Yeah.
I think, and you stated, and based on the picture, you're changing the color. So I like the new color, I like the new design, I like the fact that you removed the door. Still on the fence about that second driveway, but I can certainly live with that. And I also want to confirm that the fence that's there now will be removed.
Which one?
The fence, it's like that white fence that kind of goes on an angle because of the fact that your property grade is higher than your neighbor's.
Right, yeah, so the proposed addition would be in that spot.
Okay,
So rather than the fence kind of doing this, the addition will be here, and the fence will do more of a slight dip than.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. And that fence goes all the way around because you have a pool in the back, correct?
right.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I will now go out to the audience, and I believe the couple in the back raised their hands to speak.
Hi, I'm Steve Flint. I live next door, and we did come
Excuse
to an
me.
agreement.
Excuse me?
Can I go over here?
Yes, but could you state your full name and your address?
Stephen Flint, 8 Agawam Ave.
Perfect, okay.
What we agreed to is from here to here is going to be 19, about 19 and a half feet.
Are you talking about the front of the proposed addition?
You know, the existing house is right here.
Okay,
And from the corner, outside corner of that house to the property line is supposed to be 19 and a half feet.
well, on here, it states that it's 19.3.
19 feet, 3 inches.
Yeah, so it's better.
That's close enough.
Okay,
So we agreed to that, and we also agreed that there'd be 4 windows on this side, double hung windows, 2 in the living room and 2 in the bedroom. And there'd be no bunk outs on this side or the back.
And it looks like it
And
reflects
we're
it.
gonna reroute the water coming from the drain from the roof. Down to the front, right? Is that what you said? Yeah. So I won't have water coming down the hill. So that's what we agreed to.
Okay.
And I said we would not oppose that if they did that.
okay. I'm looking at the plans and I see the windows. So if the applicants want to come back, I guess, and,
Just confirm, yeah.
yeah, just confirm. It seems from the drawings and the plans that everything that this gentleman stated, you've complied with, but maybe you can come back and just say, yes. we
Madam
agree
Chair,
to all that.
so I just want to hear clearly, you're in favor of it with those changes?
I'm not opposing it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Just to confirm, so the other thing that we had spoken to our neighbor about is the 19 feet and 3 inches is actually to the overhang of the building, and the front corner it would actually, to the foundation, would be 20 feet 3 inches. So that was, and actually I included in the packet an image that was zoomed in on the proposed addition with a pencil line where the 20 feet It's okay. It looks kind of like this. Is that in there?
Yeah, we just see the 19.3.
Okay, okay. But yes, just to confirm what he said, so the front corner would be 19 feet 3 inches to the overhang, 20 feet 3 inches to the foundation. And in the back, 14.5 feet to the overhang and 15.5 to the foundation. And we would do the 4 windows like are in the image, and a French drain along the side.
Okay.
We have additional questions.
Ken?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So in looking at this drawing, I'm looking at the left perspective, which is the left side of the new addition. So on that side of the building, looks to me like there's 8 windows. 4 up top, 4 down below. Is that correct?
Yes, I think, and we'll have to clarify, I think what they were referring to is the 4 that would actually be able to be seen.
Above the
Because
fence.
the lower windows there are going to be on the lower level, would be blocked by the fence.
Okay. And is that what, does that sound correct to you, sir?
Yeah, that's just the garage.
Okay. Okay, no further questions. Thank you.
Any other questions from the
Oh,
board members?
I just want to know if there's any more from the public.
Okay. Anybody else from the public? Any other board member questions? Okay. Off to deliberations. Jeff?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think I can speak for all the members of the board to say we appreciate you taking our input and working with your neighbor. I think your house looks nicer now than it did before, and I will vote for this.
Thank you. Ken?
Thank you, and I'll vote for this. I think the changes are great, the house looks great, and you've talked to your neighbors, so that's what we care about. I'll vote for this.
Thank you. Ken?
I also will vote for this.
John?
Yeah, I think this was great. The applicant took the input of the neighbor and made some adjustments that made everybody happy, so I too will vote for this. And Madam Chair, I will, oh, sorry, yourself.
I will also vote for this. I think the new plan is great. I love the new color, and you took all of our suggestions, which was nice, and you included the neighbors, so I think it will end up looking nice in the neighborhood. Thank you, and I will vote for this.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to issue the variance under Table 2 of the Danvers Zoning Bylaw to build an addition that will be located 14.5 feet from the side property line where 20 is required. The lot is non-compliant due to size where 30,000 square foot is required and 18,424 square feet is supplied, and that adjacent properties would not be detrimental to the public good and would not substantially deviate from the intent or purpose of the bylaw. The reduced dimensions would not be detrimental to the public good and would not substantially deviate from the intent of the purpose of the Danvers zoning bylaw.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations.
Good luck.
Next case.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our next case is 38 Hyde Street, zoned R1. Request for a special permit under Section 9.2 of the Danvers zoning bylaw to create an extended family living area within a pre-existing non-conforming single-family home where there is currently right side setback encroachment of 7.2 feet where 8 feet of separation is required. The request is made by Kerry and William Caloris, docket 24-5077.
Are the applicants here?
Hello. Kerry and William Caloris. We're looking to add an in-law on the house.
Could you just tell us a little bit about how the house is now, how you plan to change it?
So basically, it's a Cape style, right? Cape style with a garage, and then there's a family room between the garage and the house. So there's 2 entrances there, and the plan is to rip the roof off the garage and go up 4 walls and put a roof back on.
Okay. Okay, I will go out to John. Do you have any questions?
I do. So this is a special permit. The exterior of the building's not going to change in actual size except for to go up.
Correct.
All right, and I guess before I ask this question, I just want to read from our EFLA bylaw with regard to interior standards. One of them is that the square footage, when located within the dwelling, that the EFLA maintain internal access and circulation to and from the primary dwelling space by means of communal shared habitable space. I don't see any shared space. I think the other part of the bylaw I want to point out is that square footage should become habitable, and I thought we had another piece in here that talked about shared space, but, oh yeah, here. The 750 square foot restriction is exclusive of common space or space shared with the principal building. If I look at the design, I think I see, I don't really see a common space, so I know, I guess what are your thoughts around that? What are you considering your common space right now?
Basically, the entrance,
From our living room downstairs will be her point, but there's also a door right here to the back. So there will be 2 points.
But that's a bedroom, right? I mean, I don't see how that's shared
It is.
space.
So the garage, the stairs will be in the garage, but she'll be using our front door
so to get to her stairs, she has to come,
through the house.
excuse me, through this family room here. This is the door that we mainly use.
We don't use the front
We
door.
don't really use that door. So this is our family room. We come in, and her stairs, she's gonna have to access this door
And then go to the back.
And then go to.
go up.
All right,
We
well,
would think that would be
yeah. I guess just in the spirit of the bylaw, I'm not sure this checks that box for me as communal space or, yeah. So anyway, I don't think I have any questions. How many square feet is the EFLA?
702?
Or, yeah, 704, I think.
Okay, so it's under the 750?
Yeah.
Okay, no further questions, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Ken?
So generally, we don't like to, I know that's existing door that is next to the garage, correct? Is that existing?
This one here?
No, that's a side door, but the
That's
other
a
one
side-
in the front.
This
So-
one here?
Yeah, on
Yeah,
Agawam.
that's
I
our
mean, no.
main entrance.
All right, yeah. So that's but that's already there, right? I
That's
mean,
already there,
so-
yeah. And that's basically what we use as our living room.
Yeah, but, so what,
Madam Chair, can I ask?
Yes, you may.
So what would we do in a case like that, because there is already 2 existing front doors? So generally, we don't like 2 front doors within a...
Yeah, so I mean, I would certainly keep those 2 doors there for a number of reasons. But I think the way to kind of get around the common space issue is to, if the family room was labeled as common space, you could at least get there that both parties have to go through that space and use that habitable space before they can go to the regular unit, the main unit in the EFLA. So that's, but I would definitely not take either of these. I would keep the doors there because they are existing and they use them, and it totally makes sense to keep them. I think that this could be compliant with the shared space simply if family room was changed to common area.
Yeah, that makes sense.
and then, so the side door, that is just like an extra,
This one here?
yeah, that's just for the
This is our
garage.
garage door, and that's
Yeah.
the side garage
Gotcha.
door, I guess.
All right, I have no other questions, but you heard what our planning director said. Mr. Zalinski.
All right, thank you.
Ken?
Thank you. Well, that's precisely what I was going to ask. Can we call that family room common space?
I mean,
And
it's
then
pretty hard not to.
avoid it?
Yeah, I think it is that simple.
Other than that, I really don't have any questions. I see what they're trying to do. That's my only question.
Jeff?
I have no questions, Madam Chair, thank you.
One of my questions has to do with the parking situation. So I see that you have obviously a garage, and then your driveway is very short. So and I drove by your house a few times. Typically what happens, do you use the garage, or do you just pull in and use the space in front of the garage?
Currently, we just use the spaces in front of the garage.
We
Okay.
haven't cleaned it out completely.
We just bought
since
we just bought it back in January, so we
Okay.
really,
We're slowly
So you
chipping
still have
away.
moving boxes in that
Yeah,
garage, right?
We're still, yeah.
Okay.
But the 3 cars that are in there right now are the 3 cars that are there.
oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's our vehicles for the house. My mother is with us currently, who we're doing this for.
Okay.
So that's her vehicle.
Is that her vehicle in the front?
Nope, that was a friend that was over that.
Oh, okay.
Ours is the green Nissan.
Just off the
I was
Okay.
just 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I see, okay, all right.
Yeah, so
all
it
right.
fit perfectly. We are planning on using the garage once it is open. Obviously, we're just waiting for if this goes through, to do everything before we can pull
Okay.
in.
Okay.
Sorry.
Any other questions before we go out to the audience? Anyone in the audience have any comments or questions? Okay, back to the board to deliberate. John?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think, based on what our planning director has indicated, if we can make that change, I think on the fly tonight, and call the family room common shared space, then I'd be all right with that. I think the renderings are nice. I think it's going to be a nice improvement to the building, and it seems very modest to me. I understand Ken's point about the front doors, but I feel where they're existing, there's not really a lot of wiggle room to make a change there. So I would vote in favor, provided the change is made to the drawing.
Okay, thank you. Ken?
Yeah, and like my colleague John has mentioned, echoing the planning director's suggestion of the shed area, I would vote for this.
Thank you, Ken. Ken?
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think your mom will be happy up there. Good space for her. I'll vote for it.
Jeff?
I will vote for this.
Thank you, and I will vote for this. I really like the design, and as far as the common space, if you're sharing that entire family room and you have to walk through, it's more of a common space than we even typically have. So I will vote for this.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to issue a special permit under Section 9.2 of Section 30, and Section 30 of the Danvers Zoning Bylaw to construct an extended family living area within a pre-existing non-conforming single-family home where there is currently right side setback encroachment of 7.2 feet where 8 feet is required, and that the proposed use will not outweigh its beneficial impacts on the town or the neighborhood in view of the particular characteristics of the site and the proposal in relation to that site.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, hearing that, you've
I
been
didn't know if we
approved.
should have.
Good luck. Now I know where Hyde Street
Thank
is,
you.
but I don't cut through.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry, I did want to make a revised
A revised drawing.
revised plans with showing the common space instead of that family room. Just-
Madam Chair, I would add
Yeah.
to the motion that the drawing be upgraded to, or updated to reflect the family room is shown as common area.
I'll second that.
all in favor?
And I just need that electronically, so you don't have to, no paper copies, but if you can send that revised plan,
Our architects and,
yep. And then we'll be able to get this buttoned up.
great, thank you.
Next case?
Our next case is 43 Reservoir Road, zoned R3. Request for a finding under Table 2 of the Danvers Zoning Bylaw, as the addition will be closer to the side property line than permitted by right, where 30 feet is required. and 23.7 feet is proposed. The house is currently non-conforming with respect to the front setback for Rogers Road at 26.2 feet. The request is made by Tracy and Scott Sardo, docket 24-5078.
So both the applicant and the architect are online. So why don't we do a quick mic check, if we can hear Scott and Stephen?
Scott Sardo, 43 Reservoir Drive.
Tracy Sardo.
Good evening. And Stephen, are you there? Well, it looks like you're muted, Stephen. Or Stephen can't hear us. Stephen, you are muted, so we can't hear you.
I think he's saying that he can't find the
can barely
unmute
hear
button.
that.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can unmute him. Oh,
Okay, I think I'm here.
there we go. Okay,
I was looking at something else.
no worries. All right, I'm gonna get the plans up, and then you guys can go whenever you're ready.
Scott, do you want to start?
Yeah, hello, everyone. Sorry we couldn't be there in person. We're
I couldn't
currently
hear
on
anything.
vacation.
Excuse me, could you raise your voice? We're having a hard time hearing you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
A little bit better. We have some fans and other mechanics in here, so you really have to speak up. I'm sorry.
No problem. I can speak louder. So essentially, again, I wish we could be there in person. Unfortunately, we had a scheduled family vacation. So we are looking to replace our current deck. The proposed addition includes a family room with office, with a unfinished basement for storage. The home is currently over 1,600 feet, and the new addition will add approximately 600 square feet. We are requesting a 23.7-foot setback from Rogers Road. That would include the overhang. Otherwise, the addition would fit in the exact position of the current deck, except that it would extend 5 feet further back into the backyard. Did we lose everyone?
Yes,
Can you-
would your representative like to speak now?
Yeah, my name is Stephen Livermore. I'm an architect in Salem. The addition is, as Scott had mentioned, we are adding a 486 square foot deck to the rear of the house. And we're also adding a small addition to the front entrance with a small deck at the front of the house, which will conform. It will be within the setbacks. So if you went back to the floor plan, we're showing a little bit more work than what the site plan is showing, even though the site plan shows all of the encroachments into what is the front or side setback. Everything else is conforming.
Okay.
If you look at A1.1, that will show actually A1.0 at the bottom of the sheet. The A1. Sorry. That we're showing dotted lines in the A1.0 drawing, which shows a low deck at the front of the house, which is conforming. The dashed line that's going up the side of the building where the encroachment is shows that everything that we're doing on the front complies with setbacks.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Jeff, any
If there are any other questions, yeah, not a problem.
Jeff?
Okay, so you are going 23.7 on the side setback from,
Yeah, that's to the overhang.
okay,
So, which I know that's the encroachment, but that's the the actual footprint of the addition, other than going back from the house, which is in conformance, that side of the addition actually is the same footprint as the existing deck.
So the existing deck encroaches already?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, but it's a deck as opposed to a room.
Right, okay. No further questions, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Ken?
Thank you. So you're proposing to go from 1684 square feet to 2284 square feet in total, correct?
Yeah, if I could clarify that, the actual footprint of the existing building is around 1127. I think the 1600 includes basement space.
Yes.
But I did a footprint calc, and it's 1127, so we're adding 600 to that, so we're gonna be probably in the 2,000-foot range.
Okay, thank you, that's all I had.
Ken?
I have no questions.
John?
Thanks, Madam Chair. If I could go out to Mr. Zakelli. Brian, I thought, was there an issue here with, that they were listing this setback on the wrong side, or am I confusing this with something else?
No, there was, I think it's the elevation drawings. They might have had two, I think they were certainly different vantage point, like different sides of the house, and I think on this one, they might have had two lefts. It was very clear what was happening. It was just like a mislabel, but
Yeah,
not-
and actually, yeah, it's my mistake. It is a mislabel. I'm looking at the drawings. The left side on A 2.2 is actually the right side, which is the addition that
That's what I
encroaches.
Yeah, but nothing wrong in the math.
Okay.
Right, it's the first time I've made a mistake, but I
Attaboy.
Not us. And they're here before us because it's a corner lot, and they have to meet, two frontages, basically. They have to meet this 30 instead
Yeah,
of
because there's two
20.
fronts.
Very
Exactly.
good.
Two front setbacks.
And it's a non-conforming already, so that's why we're here for a finding.
Exactly, instead of a variance, correct.
Very good.
Yep.
No further questions, thank you.
I don't have any questions either, so we will go out to the audience. Any questions? Okay, we will go back to the board. John?
I think you started with Jeff.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, two front setbacks is a tough thing. And I think the plan looks good. I will vote for this.
Ken.
I will vote for this.
Ken?
I'll vote for this, too.
John?
Yeah, this looks like a modest increase to the building, and I don't think the setbacks, that egregious, so I too would vote in favor.
And I agree. I mean, if this wasn't a corner lot, you would have no issues basically at all. So I will definitely vote for this. I like your plans, and I'm a yes. So,
And this is a one-part finding, I believe, correct? So, Madam Chair, I make a motion to issue the finding under Table 2 of the Danvers Zoning Bylaw, as the addition will be closer to the side property line than permitted as of right where 30 feet is required and 23.7 is proposed. The proposed use will not outweigh its beneficial impacts on the town or the neighborhood in view of the particular characteristics of the site and the proposal in relation to that site.
I will second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Congratulations.
Good luck.
Good luck.
And good luck.
Thank you very
so
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Next case.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our next case is 200 Commonwealth Ave. This is Zone Commercial 3. Request for a variance under Section 37.4.5.f.5 to allow the installation of a second wall-mounted sign on the existing self-storage building where only one sign is allowed by right. The request is made by 200 Commonwealth Ave LLC, care of Nancy McCann, docket 24-5079.
Ms. McCann.
Good evening. Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the board. My name is Nancy McCann. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, 200 Commonwealth Avenue LLC. With me tonight is Mick LaFata, who is the manager of the LLC, and we are requesting a variance to allow a second attached wall sign on the new self-storage facility that has been built at 200 Commonwealth Avenue. This board granted a variance previously for this use for the self-storage facility based on the fact that it is an irregularly shaped lot, and it was also a use variance as well as a dimensional variance. So the irregular shape of the lot has been recognized as a hardship for this particular lot. And at the time that we went before you for that variance relief, and when we went to the planning board, it was noted that this self-storage facility is really a rather attractive self-storage facility compared to most. It looks more like an office building. And we have placed an existing attached wall sign on what I'll call the southerly approach. As you're approaching from Endicott Street down Commonwealth Drive, you will see this existing sign. It is only 4.25% of the front facade of the building, where the bylaw does allow 10% of the facade. So the sign that is existing on that facade is less than half of what would otherwise be permitted under the zoning bylaw. But as the building is now, and that's the existing sign, that again is about 4.25% of that facade. As the building is now becoming occupied and folks are trying to find it, the need for a second detached wall sign has become apparent. This building is on a curve as it goes around follows Commonwealth Ave, and as you are approaching this site coming from the north, you can't see any signage at all. This building is completely unidentifiable, and you really don't see the attached existing wall sign until, as you're driving along, you're coming around this curve, you get past the entrance, past the driveways, before you can even see this sign, which is on this facade. I provided a couple of photographs. If Mr. Zacchelli could put those up. Perhaps?
Just a sec.
Okay. That show you the problem, and as I assume several members of the board. So this is, you've already gone past, you've come around the corner, you've gone past the driveways that are here, and you still can't see the sign that's located here. And you should have some photographs of what you see as you're approaching from the north down Commonwealth Drive. So you've come down off of Purchase, you've come from Ash, and you're coming down Commonwealth, and this is the building. And you have no way of knowing what that building is. So you travel down, you don't know what this building is, you then go around the corner, you go past the driveways, you still don't see the sign because it's on the facade. That makes sense as you're coming from Endicott Street, you're coming from the south. But as you're coming along here, we really do need to have some signage there. At the nature of the beast with this self-storage facility, we've got deliveries, we've got folks who may not be familiar with the town, and we do need some adequate signage there. So we are requesting a variance to allow a second attached wall sign to be placed on this facade that will be then visible as you're traveling from the north. That proposed sign is just 1% of that facade. So it's a small attached wall sign. I've given you the graphics in your package that we are requesting. So it's smaller than the wall sign that exists on the other side of the building, but we really do think it's necessary. When you add in the square footage of both of the proposed attached wall signs, we're still about half of what is otherwise permitted for one large wall sign. We're at about 5.25%, where 10% of the facade is permitted. So we are requesting a variance to allow 2 attached wall signs, the total being significantly less than the percentage that would otherwise be permitted, to allow a second attached wall sign. Again, given the shape of this lot and the way you approach this lot, given the curve, it really is necessary. And Mr. Zakelli, I think you have the graphic of the proposed sign. And I would be,
Here it is.
it is 42 by 3.3 feet is the dimension of the proposed attached sign.
Okay.
That's the existing. And then the next one that's the proposed. And this is just a section of the facade. It is a very long facade. It's about 212 feet long. And again, this is about a 1% square footage of that facade. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
John, it's your turn.
Thank you. Brian, could you go back to that photograph of the rear of the building again?
Yep.
And, Mr. Zakelli's going to that. Attorney McCann, will this sign, the proposed sign be lit
The letters would be lit, yes.
24/7, or?
No, they usually go out half hour after. I believe that's the
So this
typical
does have,
regulation.
because I know these things are kind of self-sufficient, right? So it does have a closing time, and what time is that?
Let me ask Mick.
I have a timer on it for the one in front, but I don't think it's on past 9 o'clock.
So do we have hours of operation or not?
Yeah, it's hours of operation.
If he's going to speak, have him come
Yeah.
up, please.
Mick LaFada, I'm the manager of Danvers Self-Storage. I'm the owner of the property. The hours of operation are from 9 to 6, Monday through Friday, and Saturday we're open from 9 to 1 and closed on Sundays.
Okay. So it's the lights are staying on, it sounds like hours after closing. Closing 6 o'clock, you said 9 o'clock, I thought.
Yeah, given this neighborhood with all of the other businesses that are open, I wouldn't think that would be a problem to have the signs lit until 9 or 10 o'clock at night. But
Is
that
there,
up to you.
is there a directional sign when you round this corner at the entrance to come in?
No,
Is
you've
that-
got the 2 driveways there.
And there's no plan to put one?
No,
Okay. And and the reason I wanted this picture, who maintains this roadway? It's not the town.
that is maintained by Liberty
Simon?
Tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happens when this tree hedge thing grows tall? This is something you guys will have to work out with the mall owner?
Sign is going here.
Yep. I think the intent is to see it when you're further back, right? Not necessarily right at this
Well,
point.
this is actually quite a ways back, and I don't think that tree will be
You're at
an
an
issue.
optimum angle here, right? You're across the street where someone traveling, they're gonna be on the other opposite side, right?
If we need to talk to Simon about trimming back that tree, then we'll do that.
Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Ken?
I have no questions. Thanks.
Ken?
Thank you. So that sign on the southerly side is the only sign? That's it, right now?
That's it. Yes.
Okay, I don't have any more questions. I'll wait for comments.
Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So just to be clear, Attorney McCann, we're looking at the view of the north side, and the sign is approximately as long as that white section there.
Not even.
Looking at your drawing, it's,
It is, Yeah.
Maybe,
A little
I'd
shorter
say
than that.
two-thirds.
It's about two-thirds of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
about two-thirds of
about
that, but
two-thirds.
that white section there. Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. It's just
Yep.
a
Just a perspective, yes.
perspective for scale. Okay, I have no further questions.
I don't have any other questions, so we'll go out to the audience. Any questions from the audience? Mr. Bradstreet, no
Bradstreet?
questions?
Awfully quiet tonight.
I know.
He's worrying me.
Okay, we will go back to the board for deliberations. John?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think this makes sense. I mean, I can see wanting a sign from that direction, although I still say a directional sign would also be helpful. I think most people do use some kind of app to get to places, Waze or otherwise, and they're going to know where 200 Commonwealth Ave is. But I don't, I mean, I think, given it's 1%, I guess I'd be okay with this, so I will vote in favor.
Ken?
I'll vote for it too. I totally think it makes sense from that side to, it's good too for a little advertising too. I mean, it's a huge amount of space for a little sign, so I'll vote for it.
Thank you, Ken. Ken?
And I will vote for this. I mean, like, as we talked about, that sign on the southern side is the only sign. And you can even see from that one picture, there's a gigantic sign on Danvers Ford. So they have one on the side of their building, and this is a much bigger building than that, so I will vote for this.
Jeff?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I generally don't like a lot of signs, but the direction of this sign and the neighbors that it would impact are virtually non-existent. It's all mall property and behind Danvers Ford and behind the police station, so I will vote for this.
Yes, and I will vote for this. And I absolutely agree, Attorney McCann, what you said before. I wish all of our self-storage facilities looked like this one. It's a beautiful building, and you took a very odd-shaped piece of property and kind of made it work. So I understand why you need the dual signs. I kind of agree with John that you might need a directional sign, but that's up to you. So yes, I will vote for this.
Madam Chair, I will make a motion to issue a special permit under Section 30.2.d and Table 1 of the Danvers Zoning Bylaw to allow the conversion of a dwelling.
nope.
Sorry. Let me back, check. Madam Chair, let me just start again. I will make a motion to issue a variance under Section 37.4.f.5 to allow the installation of a second wall-mounted sign on the existing self-storage building where only one sign is allowed by right, and that adjacent properties would not be detrimental to the public good. I don't know if I like that wording. And would not substantially deviate from the intent or purpose of this bylaw. The reduced dimensions would not be detrimental to the public good and would not substantially deviate from the intent or purpose of this bylaw.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? With
Thank-
that, you have your sign.
Thank you very much. I'll be in touch.
Okay.
Mr. Clerk, our last case.
Our last case is 25 Water Street, zoned R1. Request for a special permit under Section 30.2.d and Table 1 of the Danvers Zoning Bylaw to allow the conversion of a dwelling in existence prior to 1980 to add one additional dwelling unit for a total of 4 dwelling units. Request is made by Moni D. Chan, care of Nancy McCann, Esquire, docket 24-5080.
Attorney McCann.
Thank you very much. Again, my name is Nancy McCann. I'm here on behalf of Moni Chan. Moni is here this evening. He is the owner of the property located at 25 Water Street. This property is located in the R1 zoning district and is a 3-family dwelling currently, built in approximately 1834. We are requesting a special permit to allow a conversion of the existing dwelling into an additional dwelling unit for a total of 4 dwelling units. The lot is about 21,430 square feet. It is surrounded on the side and the rear by a large condominium development. And again, we're requesting to add 1 dwelling unit, and that addition would be done by an interior renovation of the first floor. You do have plans submitted with this application. I will note that we do meet all of the dimensional and density requirements under the zoning bylaw that permits the conversion. The minimum lot area for such a conversion is 10,000 square feet, and again, we have 21,430 square feet. The minimum lot area per unit is 2,500 square feet, and we have 5,357 square feet per dwelling unit. We have 2 parking spaces for each dwelling unit as well, for a total of 8 parking spaces. There are no new curb cuts proposed. The existing curb cuts exist. There is an existing garage on the site that exists that provides 2 interior parking spaces. We have some photographs of the existing home. The first floor currently is 1 unit. It's a large 2,350 square foot unit. It has kind of a mixture of rooms within that first floor. The second floor currently has 2 existing dwelling units. Each of those dwelling units are 2 bedrooms. The proposal is to renovate the first floor and divide that large existing unit into 2 units. Each of those units will be 2 bedrooms, 1,140 square feet and 1,210 square feet, so modest-sized units. The second floor is unchanged. Those 2 units will remain as existing, and you do have the floor plans with this application package. I spoke to the architect today, Joe Betancourt. Unfortunately, he could not be here this evening as he is moving his son into college. However, I did discuss the plans with him, and I asked him to describe on the site plan. It does show some proposed enclosed access points towards the rear. And he said, in fact, in giving some thought and speaking to Mr. Chan, those proposed additions or enclosures on each side are not going to be constructed. So there will be actually no exterior change to this building at all over the existing conditions. So those 2 small enclosures that are shown on the site plan are not proposed to be constructed. So there will be no change to the exterior of the building. This will be maintained as the 1800s building that it is, and it is interior renovations only, and again, on the first floor. I have outlined in the application specifically how we meet all of the requirements for the special permit under Section 30 of the zoning bylaw. And I will note that the addition of this unit will require the payment of towards the Affordable Housing Trust account fund in the amount of $28,000 that the applicant will make prior to occupancy permit. I would be happy to answer any questions.
Jeff?
I have no questions, Madam Chairman. Thank you.
Ken?
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the plot plan view, it shows 6 parking spaces. Where are the additional 2 spaces?
There are 2 in the garage.
Back here.
Yeah, they're numbered.
There are 2 on this side.
Yep. And then I see the 4 on the side, on the left.
1, 2, 3,
4, 5, 6.
7, 8.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Ken?
So, this one, will this,
Madam Chair, can I ask the planning director a question?
Yes, please.
So, Brian, so this doesn't, I mean, there's already smokes and sprinklers everything, because it's a three unit, right? Or was this trigger any site planning to make sure there's sprinkler system?
So you're talking building code?
Yeah.
But I don't believe it requires it at 3. I do believe it does require sprinkler at 4, but that is for you to determine with the building department. But I think it does depend upon how much money you're putting in terms of if it's more than 50% of the cost. Like there are things that are unrelated to zoning, but certainly if they require a sprinkler system according to the building code, then yeah, they would have to do that, but that would not be a condition under under the ZBA.
Yep, okay. So that's mutually exclusive. They will just take care of that after, if we approve it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't, it's essentially saying a condition that they have to comply with the building code.
Yep.
So it's like
Of course they do.
unnecessary, yeah.
Thank you. I have no other questions.
John?
Thank you. Speaking of sprinklers, so are you under the impression this building requires sprinklers?
I did not talk to the architect about that, but again, as Mr. Zakelli said, building code will be complied with.
Well, I guess I asked that question because I see sprinklers, I see stormwater management, I see donation to Affordable Trust, and it's a lot of, I guess, costs here that obviously you always love to say financially viable. So I just wanted to kind of, I guess, put that out there. I'd like to, and maybe, Madam Chair, you know this answer, or I'll put it out to Mr. Zakelli. Does this building require to go in front of the Preservation Commission?
No, there's no exterior changes. So interior is not part at all of
Okay.
what preservation does.
And Attorney McCann, the garage is in pretty poor shape. What is the plan there? Because I mean, when I visited the property, I saw rotting roof and things growing out of the gutters. So is there a plan to renovate the garage as well?
There will be updates and we'll call it maintenance, both to the existing structure as well as to the garage. It certainly needs to be safe for parking vehicles in it.
Okay, and with that said, there's also a large pile of asphalt on the left-hand side of the building, pretty unsightly. I'm assuming this comes from the right-hand driveway that was redone? Do we know about this?
Good evening. I'm Oni Chan. I'm the owner of 25 Water Street. So it is from the right-hand side. There is plan to repave the left-hand side, as well as exterior updating, and we are planning to also update the garage as well.
Okay.
To make it
So
safe.
that's all gonna get cleaned up?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I think that's all I had. Thank you.
And I have a couple questions. On your application, it states the address is 25 Water Street, but
yeah.
on the deed, it states that it's 25 through 27. So is this application for 25? Because if you look at the front of the building, it says 25 on one side and 27 on the other. So should this application be for both properties?
No, the application is filed based on the tax assessor's records, which is 25. Now, for purposes of mail delivery, because remember, this already has multiple units in it, they may have, designated it as 27, 25 to 27, but the tax assessor has this as 25 Water Street, and that's what we use for purposes of the application.
Okay. And I assume that you have a copy of the town engineer's report with regard to all of the, requirements that this site is going to have. John was kind of mentioning it. The water and sewer work will require, they're requiring additional water and sewer work to be done, and a trench permit, a water and sewer permit. You require a stormwater permit. You're probably going to have to put sprinklers in the building, and you have to make that donation to the Affordable Trust. So is your client aware of what the town engineer stated in his report?
Well, unfortunately, we did not receive a copy of that report. I wish we had. But we'll get a copy from planning staff, and we were certainly aware of the affordable housing donation, as I mentioned in my presentation. As with any project that requires a building permit, we need to comply with building code issues, whatever they happen to be, and utility permits to the extent that there's something going on there. Stormwater, I'm not sure about that one. I'll have to see what the engineering comments are. We're making interior renovations that would not typically trigger a stormwater permit.
It's because it's 3 or more units that triggers it. I'll give you the memo.
Yeah,
but,
that would be helpful. But we'll look into it. If we have to apply for a stormwater permit, we apply for a stormwater permit.
And one other thing, it says the engineering division recommends updating and replacing the existing water and sewer service. So again, I'm, the only reason why I am bringing this to your attention is it seems as if to bring it from 3 to 4, there's a lot here that's going to have to be done. And as John said, it's going to be an expensive project to do that.
At $28,000, it'd sure come in handy, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
We'll take a look at that. And engineering department sometimes recommends, and I haven't seen the memo, but as you just read it, if it says it recommends upgrading, that's often an optional thing that gets looked at. But code compliance is certainly is something that has to be done.
Okay. Okay.
Madam Chair, I have one additional question.
Yes, go ahead.
Will these units be condos, or will they go for rentals?
We don't, as my typical answer on that, it's up to the market. Rentals, I'm being told.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Out to the audience, anyone? Mr. Bradstreet?
All right.
Let me down, would you?
Bill Bradstreet, Town Meeting Member, Precinct 1. I listened tonight, and I've listened at other meetings, that some comments are very arbitrary. Recommend as opposed to request. I find exception to that, not only tonight, but again at others. I just wanted it out there. I can't be the only one that makes this observation and wonders why it's either black or white as far as this board or other boards are concerned. I know there's always a gray area, but only for certain things. So my request is that you consider that. And it's a notation, observation I've made. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Any other comments?
Yeah, Madam Chair,
Any other questions?
Yeah, just
John?
before we deliberate, Attorney McCann, if I could just ask again, because I think the applicant brought up the point, they plan to asphalt over the left-hand side, and looking at the parking plan, yeah, that definitely looks like quite an increase to the impervious surface.
It's impervious already.
Well, I'm sorry?
I believe it may be impervious already.
Well, no, there's you can kind of see it in the drawing. It's etched out on where the land is.
Yeah, I see that. That may trigger the stormwater permit, for example.
Well, it just looks like we're gonna go asphalt, right up to the edge of the property, and it doesn't really lend itself for, much greenery or green space. So I guess my question is, this is a large lot.
We've got a very large backyard.
Yeah,
Right.
is there, what other plans are on the table to potentially change the parking? That looks pretty tough, and I can tell you from experience pulling into this lot, there's a right-hand pad in the back, and that allowed me to turn around to pull back out of that driveway, but I can see this being kind of difficult if you got 4 stacked cars on the left-hand side. So was there any other discussions about alternate parking plans?
No, we're required to provide 2 parking spaces per unit. That's what we've done here. It's a configuration that's not uncommon, and that pad that you just mentioned is there exactly for that purpose. It's for turning, and that's commonly done. So this does meet the requirements of the bylaw for a conversion.
And so what's the setback going to be from the asphalt to the property line? I mean, can you asphalt right up to the edge of your property line? Is that
Yeah.
something we allow?
Yes, you can.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. I believe, John, you go first?
No.
Oh, sorry,
Nope.
Jeff.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Cases tonight.
An apartment of 2,300 square feet is pretty big, so I understand what Mr. Moy is going to do here, so I will vote for this.
Ken?
Yeah, I mean, I will vote for this. They're not making any changes to the outside of the building, so I'll vote for it.
Ken?
I'll vote for this too. Adding another unit to the town is good.
John?
Yeah, I definitely don't like the parking plan, but I take the applicant at his word that they'll make some improvements to this property, although I don't think it's in terrible shape now, but it sounds like an opportunity here. And so with that said, I will vote in favor.
I will also vote for this, and again, I wish the applicant well, because I think it's going to end up being a little bit more costly at the beginning than maybe even intended. So, but I will vote for this. Do we have a motion?
All right, Madam Chair, let me get this correct this time. I will make a motion to issue a special permit under Section 30.2.d and Table 1 of the Danvers Zoning Bylaw to allow the conversion of a dwelling in existence prior to 1980 to add 1 additional dwelling unit for a total of 4 dwelling units, and that the proposed use will not outweigh its beneficial impacts on the town or neighborhood in view of the particular characteristics of the site and the proposal in relation to that site. The proposed dwelling conversions from 3 to 4 units triggers Table 29.1, inclusion affordable housing calculations. Therefore, if approved, the applicant will have to contribute funds totaling $28,000 to the Affordable Housing Trust. And I will just add that the planning director will get the town engineering memo to the applicant.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you very much.
luck.
Yes, please get your hands on that report.
Actually, Brian, can I?
Already sent.
Already sent, thank you.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night, Dan.